Well, good evening or good morning or afternoon, depending where you are joining us from. Welcome back to the Launchpad. It has been a little bit since we have been here in the studio. We've been changing some things around, kind of getting set up for this next few months here. But if you are new, welcome. My name is Zach. I'm the host here at the Launchpad. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, and we believe that space is better together, so we invite you to join our crew by subscribing, clicking that like button, and sharing out the link, and inviting your friends and family to join us. We have a exciting mission for us tonight, Soyuz MS-19. Very much a typical Soyuz crewed mission to the International Space Station, but what's different is who's on board. Tonight there is only one Russian cosmonaut on board who will be acting as commander and pilot, and then there are two passengers on board for the very first time, a film director and producer and an actress, as they are going up to film for 12 days on board the International Space Station. As we get started, though, take a moment, let us know in the chat where you are watching from. We are keeping an eye on Roscosmos' feed here, as they have already started their countdown to their live stream, so we will pull that up and bring you full English commentary as we count down to launch. But at this moment, we are T-minus 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 28 seconds until liftoff. A very short docking time as well, with 3 hours from launch to docking at the International Space Station with just 2 orbits. So let us know if you can hear us, if we're coming through. Let us know how clear that is. We've moved a bunch of stuff around, so bear with us for that. But Roscosmos is starting up their feed here, so we will tap in their audio. Should we hear any English commentary kind of coming from them as they count down to today's exciting mission. John, I love the channel, Zach. You're the only person that had this event live and direct for us. So thanks, John. I appreciate it. From Tampa, Florida. Amazing. Good to see you. Thomas, good to see you in here as well. If you guys are new, welcome. We're going to just quickly listen in, make sure they're not doing English for some surprise reason this evening. Nope, definitely not English. So we'll keep that one turned down here. We do also have NASA TV pulled up and ready to go for when they start their coverage, but they will not begin their coverage for the next couple of hours. Marcus, good to see you. James is in Abilene, Texas. I know Marcus is in Florida as well. It will be a late one for us all here in North America on this side of the world, but a very full day already for the crew, as they have already arrived at the launch facility, gone through their med checks, their meals, their suit up, and are now already on their way out to the pad, as we will be actually seeing on the screens behind their two commentators. You can see the two buses pulling up to the Baikonur Cosmodrome with their crew on board. John, how can I purchase a t-shirt merchandising from you? Great question, John. In the description, we do have a link over to our Etsy shop. We do have a number of options there. We're looking at releasing a few more things here in the near future that are more Launchpad oriented, but we do have a bunch of stuff on there. Marcus might be able to grab that link for you as well. Let me see if I can grab it actually. Give me 2 seconds here and we'll pull that up. But if you're just joining us, welcome. Take a moment, let us know where you're watching from. Also share the link out. Bear with us, we had to update our link at the very last minute there, as I wanted to stream only from our webcam, and we didn't want that. We wanted to be able to patch in Russia, so we wanted to make sure we had that for you. So thanks for jumping back over here onto the new link. There it is. Marcus beat me to it. That is our Launchpad shop. You can take a look there. It's an Etsy shop, so we do have shipping pretty much all around the world available, and lots of different items available with different colors and sizes there. Do you have a mask? We did have some masks. We can bring those back out. That is something we were working on, some newer designs of them, but we can work on having some of those out. Give us a couple days, John, and I'll try to get those out by, what's today? Well, it's almost Tuesday. Give me till like Wednesday night, and I'll try to get some masks up there for you. But thanks for checking that out. DMND Leader, thanks for streaming, watching from Indy. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. We are T-minus 3 hours and 3 minutes, but we got some time to answer questions. So as always, here on the Launchpad, we love answering your guys' questions. So you can send those in the chat. Tag us at the Launchpad. That makes sure that I'm able to see them come in here tonight. And it can be about anything space. Doesn't have to only relate to today's mission, but there on your screen, you can see the crew of MS-19 arriving at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. To quite a crowd of people excited to wish them well. A very different mission for Soyuz and for Roscosmos, partly private, partly really just even a resupply mission in many ways, because what they're doing is the capsule that's on board the International Space Station currently for MS-18 is actually about to expire. They only like keeping them on station for about 6 months, and it's been up that long. So what they're actually going to do is this crew is now going to launch to the International Space Station with MS-19. Then they are going to stay for 12 days. Their commander is going to stay on board. The film producer and actress will board MS-18 that's currently on orbit and be joined by one of the commanders on station to bring MS-18 home, leaving the new capsule on board for the station. That capsule is expected to come back down in November, but with anything at the International Space Station, they always want to have some wiggle room for a few months should anything occur on the station or here on Earth. So a very exciting mission, lots of filming we're seeing as well, because obviously this is all about making a movie. The movie is called The Challenge. It's in partnership with Channel 1 and the Black, Yellow, and White studio. So it is going to be a Russian movie, but we do look forward to maybe having a dubbed version. We'll see if this gets enough attention. Maybe that's something that we'll be lucky enough to see. A little bit more about today's mission. They're launching from Launch Complex 31-6 or /6, the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The payload, 7,080 kilograms or 15,610 pounds. That is the entire spacecraft together, since they're just launching the crew. It's going to launch and rendezvous at the International Space Station, which is in a 400-kilometer low Earth orbit at an inclination of 51.65 degrees. Really short turnaround. They're going to launch 3 hours later, dock, only 2 orbits, as Soyuz does have that capability for rapid docking. So there you can see on screen, starting from the bottom, they pulled away there, but it looks like the commander, the actress, and then the film producer as well. This is the third mission to the International Space Station this year. We know we got Crew 3 coming up as well later this year on October 30th, with arrival just in time to trick-or-treat the space station on October 31st. 9th launch from Baikonur this year, 55th mission for a Soyuz 2.1A rocket, the 147th crewed Soyuz flight. They've done a lot of these, and it's going to be the 95th orbital launch attempt of 2021 already. So it has been a very busy year. John, Zach, I really want your team. I guess Oh, okay. Thanks, John. Send us an email, John, if that works, or connect with us on Twitter or Discord. We can talk more there. Yeah, don't do it through YouTube. If you guys do want to support our channel, we greatly appreciate that. You can do so becoming a YouTube member or Patreon member. But if you are donating a larger sum, we would say, the best option is get in touch with us or donate through our previous GoFundMe, as that way most of your donation actually does come to us and doesn't go like 30% to YouTube, because we want to make sure we're transparent where your funds are going. But Marcus dropped the Discord link in there. Maybe you can drop the Twitter one as well, so you guys can connect with us on all of our social medias. Would be a really great help. You can find us, well, actually I have to update this graphic. You can find us, of course, here on YouTube, over on Twitter at TLPN_official. Our Patreon, just search up the Launchpad. We're on Facebook as well at TLPN.official. We've got our Discord in the chat and below, Twitch as well, and we have to add our Instagram that we will be tapping into more and more as we start releasing photos from our time down at Starbase and Kennedy Space Center for Inspiration 4. First, I just want to say thank you so much to all of you that did support us getting down to NASA, Kennedy Space Center for Inspiration 4, and then hopping over to Starbase. It was a really great opportunity for our crew to do a lot of learning, a lot of testing of equipment, and getting an idea of on-site location coverage that we will be bringing you for the full Artemis programs, Vulcan things and testing, launches, and down, of course, at Starbase for the orbital flight tests of Starship. So we greatly appreciate that. We know there was a little less content that came out this trip, but that's because we were testing a lot of things, but we're really excited for a number of things in the work, including 24/7 live cameras coming in the very near future. So make sure you've subscribed so you don't miss those. They'll be free to access, and we're excited to bring them all to you. Thomas, I heard Russia has been courting Elon to do business in Russia. Do we know if it's Tesla or SpaceX? We know Elon was invited actually to this launch. He was invited to attend. We heard that he was not going to attend. We didn't fully hear why. So it is definitely something that they're wanting to do business with Elon. I don't know who wouldn't want to at this point. He's got a proven track record and has got a lot of stuff he's working on to help make us a multiplanetary species, but also, have a better life here on Earth. If you guys ever have business inquiries, you can send those into our business email there, thelaunchpadnews@gmail.com. It'd be great help. We appreciate your guys' support in any way. If you guys are ever interested in licensing our footage as well or our live broadcasts, you can get in touch with that as well. Just going to pull up our Discord here as I realize I totally forgot we don't have that open. So bear with me here, Discord. We're going to quickly go to there we go. Augusto, Elon is not thinking of a better life, he's thinking of surviving. Very true. A lot of the time he does talk about it in that manner of more worried about survival than, actually just making life better. But I think he has looked at it more recently, especially with his kids, at how can we improve our life, but also secure our future should something occur here on Earth. No, we got Marcus tapping in here. And we're back there. Just checking in with our Discord there. If you're just joining us, though, welcome. You are watching our live launch coverage of MS-19, carrying the Challenge film crew up to the International Space Station for 12 days of filming. We are at T-minus 2 hours, 53 minutes, and 48 seconds until liftoff. The crew has had a very busy morning already. They've had their last meal, suit up, final med checks, bust out to the pad, and we just saw them arrive in the last 10 minutes, and they are already on their way up the stairs and the elevators up to the Soyuz capsule. Soyuz, very small craft, so they're going to be in there for a while, but they are very lucky to have a short turnaround time of only 3 hours to the International Space Station. Generally does take about 2 more hours for them to actually open the hatch. But all in all, 6 to 8 hours, they'll be able to finally stretch those legs a little bit better at the International Space Station. Hey, Joe, good to see you. JC, Canadians like to love both Russia and China, yet they stay in NATO. What's up? That's a great question, JC. We cover everything space. We try to stay out of the politics side of it. But, yeah, there's some interesting things there. Maybe if you live somewhere other than South Africa, California, Texas, you might not think life on Earth is so dire. There's some truth to that too, Thomas. There's some pretty great places here on Earth. On board this crew, though, there's only one Russian cosmonaut who will be commanding and piloting the mission, as well as a remote control flight engineer. We are hearing that will be able to give commands, it sounds like, from the ground. And it's really going to be opening up the film industry for the International Space Station, proving what can be done. We know Tom Cruise has been working on a film for, let's say, well over a decade at this point now, but he's not going to be first anymore. First American, maybe, but he is being beat by the Russians. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, you can drop those in the chat. We would love to answer those for you here tonight. Don't have to be about today's mission. It can be about anything space related. We know lots of things are happening with Starship, as well as with the International Space Station, with Soyuz, with Starliner. Lots of different things occurring here. One thing we are going to do is we're going to tap into a replay here of the crew commander handover ceremony, that the change of command ceremony that took place on board the International Space Station earlier today. So we're going to listen into that for a bit, send in your questions, and I will be right back. Just going to wait for this to tap in here. Here we go.
Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. We are ready for the event, I think.
Over to you.
Right, Houston. Okay, copy, David. Thank you. Today we are gathered here for the change of command ceremony. During the past 5 months, I had the honor and privilege to serve as the International Space Station commander. During these 5 months, we had, in addition to all the experiments, the science that we did, we had multiple successful EVAs and a lot of cargo vehicles coming, going. And we had a lot of maintenance and also upgrades. And thank you all for working together and making this.
You know, he almost said malfunction right there.
With all these achievements. Oleg, Piotr, Mark, Shane, Megan, and Thomas. You guys are amazing. I couldn't be happier than being a member of this team. So thank you. And for the folks on the ground, every single one of you in Houston, Huntsville, Munich, Tsukuba, and Moscow, thank you for your help, your support, your hard work, and dedication. And throughout all the agencies supporting the International Space Station program, we could not have done such a great work without your help. And so it is my honor to give Thomas Pesquet the key to the International Space Station. And Thomas, you've been an amazing crewmate, and you're going to be a superb commander. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. All right, thanks, Aki. I think the whole crew is going to join me to thank you for everything you did during those 5 months, 5 months in increment Expedition 65. You've led us every day, always smiling, always being positive, always being in a good mood, and you've clearly, I think, prioritized our common goals and well-being above your own. And I think you've lost a few hours of sleep in the process. You have this uncanny ability to, whenever help is needed on the space station, you just materialize out of thin air, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing. But you always show up and always, with such a positive attitude that it rubbed off on us, and sometimes diffused the frustration that can build up when you're struggling with a difficult task. So thanks a lot for that. So like you said, we've had also a couple of challenging operational situations during Expedition 65. We went through them very safely, so you're no stranger to that. So thanks, Aki. So I have big shoes to fill. You took a lot of pressure off me by doing such a fantastic job that I don't even have to think about doing better than you, because it's not humanly possible. But yeah, thanks for being an example and an inspiration. I want to say a few words about everybody else on the team, because I've had the pleasure to serve under Shane as a commander of Expedition 50, and of course on the Crew Dragon. Oleg was my commander on the Soyuz last time I flew to space. Mark and Megan have had leadership positions within the astronaut office, so I've learned a lot from all of you guys on the ground and up here every day. So I'm hugely thankful for that, honestly, and I'm looking forward now that it's my turn to try to do a good job to keep the mission safe, achieve our operational goals, and come back to our loved ones healthy and happy. So those are the goals. I want to say how proud I am as well to represent my country up here. There is no doubt in my mind that my career path and my opportunities owe a great deal to the leading and active role that France has always played in aerospace and in space exploration in particular, whether it be in its own name since 1962 with CNES, the French Space Agency, first Western European in space in '82, and lots of other flights, and of course within ESA since the very beginning. Merci à tous les décideurs, tous les ingénieurs et tous les actifs du secteur spatial. Si aujourd'hui je deviens le premier Français commandant d'un véhicule spatial, c'est en grande partie à vous que je le dois, donc j'espère qu'on peut s'en réjouir ensemble. Lastly, I want to say a few words about the ops team, the training team, medical team, and all the support functions on the ground. Because we're talking about the change of command up here on the space station, but there's a lot of leadership within the flight control team. There's a lot of brain power, obviously, on the ground, and a lot of people work really hard every day for us to come up here and do what we do. So I was thinking about it the other day, and you guys actually try to keep us safe, make us successful, and keep us happy. So it's kind of the definition of what it is to love someone, brotherly love, fatherly love, to care enough so that you want people to be safe, successful, and happy. So it seems like you guys love us, and it might fit the cultural stereotype, but it's no surprise that the words of love would come from a Frenchman from space. I think we all love you back, so thank you for everything you're doing. So that was a lot of words, but I think we have work to do. So looking forward to be the commander of all of you awesome individuals, and I think we can bring it in and do Expedition 65 on 3. 1, 2, 3, Expedition 65! Thanks.
So that happened a little bit earlier today as they saw the handover of the International Space Station to Thomas Pesquet, who will be taking control for the next little bit. For it, absolutely Thomas is first class, speaks excellent Russian, French, and English. Really great person to have up there. An example kind of for that next generation. Joe, sounds good. Have a good night. Maybe we will see you in the morning for the launch. No planes flying to the ISS. It is a Soyuz 2.1B rocket carrying these Soyuz spacecraft. Yes, he's very fluent in English. Maybe he lived in Canada. Zach would know. I don't know every Canadian. But no, I don't believe when you live over in Europe, you do have to have learned English and Russian to be on the International Space Station. So you do become quite fluent to be able to work there. He's been up on a number of missions, done a lot of work with ESA. So that is a main reason why he's that fluent. Every Canadian knows each other. See, that's what they tell us, but it's really not true. They love each other because they live or die together. I mean, you better like each other up there. You can't just leave. So lots of training, a lot of preparations for it. But if you're just joining us, welcome here to the launch pad. My name's Zach. You're watching our live launch coverage of Soyuz MS-19, carrying 1 Russian cosmonaut and 2 commercial passengers to the International Space Station for 12 days to film the movie The Challenge. Robertson, do Russians get to command the station? I forget. Yep, so they do go through a cycle that anyone on the ISS that has the right training, certifications, and everything can end up becoming commander of the station. That there is a process for it. It's incredible, just jumping back here, I missed a comment from Augusto. It's incredible to see the Elon effect on the space activity. I remember when everything was done secretly, but Elon showed us that being open is much better, and even the Russians are getting better. Thomas, I agree, look at the Russian broadcast, it's like a SpaceX one. They've really improved over the last couple of years, looking at a lot of the other space agencies, and a lot of the new space agencies that are making live broadcasts kind of a requirement, even during their early testing, getting people on board, excited about their rocket. So it is very interesting to see. That is definitely something from SpaceX. Opening kind of that new chapter. All Americans know all Canadians are always too nice and polite. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment, let us know where you're watching from. We're counting down T-minus 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 5 seconds and counting until launch of the Soyuz 2.1B from Baikonur Cosmodrome. Just checking space Twitter. Any updates from Roscosmos? The cosmonaut and the 2 passengers are currently going along that corridor into a small room where they will be able to enter the ship's habitable compartment. That's what they're calling it. Flight Engineer 1 is the first to enter the capsule, where he is helped strapped into the chair, followed by FE2, and then the commander will be the last to take their seat. These are small capsules, so they will be tight and snug for the next little bit there as they count down to their launch here in about 2.5 hours. You muted yourself? I should be back. Yeah, I said I muted just for a second for Discord. Sorry about that. Marcus bowing out for this evening. It's a late launch, so thanks for bearing with us and being here with us tonight as we count down to this special launch here tonight. We will stay live to bring you the docking and the docking and hatch opening to the International Space Station. Most likely won't have full live commentary that entire portion, but we will try to stay live to bring you guys that as well. We know that NASA will be live for a large portion of that, so we'll be able to listen into their live commentary for the docking to the International Space Station. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment, let us know where you're watching from. Jason, aloha from Hawaii. Great to see you here. Glad to have you here with us. If you're wondering what we're counting down to, we are expecting liftoff at 4:55 a.m. Eastern Time from Baikonur up to the station. At 7:30, live coverage will begin for the expected docking at 8:12 a.m. Eastern Time for the docking of the Soyuz MS-19. And then at 9:30, they are expecting to start the coverage of the actual hatch opening and arrival of the crew to the International Space Station, with that opening ceremony occurring at 10:05 Eastern. So, about 6 hours from the actual moment of ignition to the moment that they are actually welcomed aboard the International Space Station, plus these about 2.5 hours they're in the capsule. So, we've got about 9 hours in those suits and in that tighter compartment. J-Shire, any idea which Russian launch its own first space station module? In which year they'll launch their own first space station module? So they did have talks announcing their new International Space Station, or Russian space station, but sounded like they were going to open it up to other people to be able to visit as well. If you haven't checked that out, we have a video probably about a month and a half ago at this point breaking down the kind of timeline of it. At this point, we don't have a first module launch date, but it did sound like they were targeting the late 2020s for operational status in the early 2030s. Augusto, do you know if other nations are starting activities to get some kind of reusability? If they don't follow SpaceX, they will go down. Do you mean like other rocket companies? Other nation rocket companies? So like NASA and stuff? We don't know of other nations per se that have... I mean, China has said it. Russia has said it. They want to try to copy the Falcon 9 and the Starship. But we're really seeing that switch in the countries won't launch the rockets or make the rockets. They're going to just lease them. The private companies are going to be the ones actually taking us to space. And they are working on being reusable because they make the most sense and they can make the most profit. Technically, yes, Thomas, it would be cheaper. We know it generally costs about $95 million, or at least that's what it did for the U.S. to have a seat. So on Soyuz, so that's $190 million. They are planning, plus the cost of being on station, you are into the tens of millions per person quite easily, as they're there for 12 days. So very expensive filming. Really, it's that whole thing of saying this was filmed in space, being the first to do that. Film a feature film in space, and things like that. It's all really publicity and setting an industry standard, but also researching what's possible and what's not. You know, filming on Earth is very different than filming in space, and if we are able to, you know, eventually have Starship functional, imagine being able to launch a Starship that the Starship is actually a big, like, green screen room. And you could actually film zero-G stuff and then simulate what's in you, around you. Or you're able to build modules and send those up and film them. How much more accurate movies like Passenger or The Martian, or even just episodes of like Star Trek could be really quite fascinating, I think, to see how that will all occur. Bob, hello from Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Bob. It is bright and early for you over there, but glad you are here with us. Thanks for being here. If you're new, though, take a moment, engage that like and subscribe button. They're both free to do, and they really do help us out, continuing to bring you the best possible space coverage of absolutely everything space. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, and yeah, we invite you to join our community by subscribing, so you never miss anything space, from SpaceX, the US, Russia, ESA, Japan. We try to cover everybody, and if we can't cover it live, at least bring you a space news update following any major breaking news. Says the commander has flown to space before, but of course the two passengers, this will be their first time going to space as we come up with that T-minus 2 hours, 33 minutes, and about 20 seconds and counting. They'll be on board the International Space Station for 12 days to film the movie The Challenge, which is in partnership with Station 1 and the Black, White, and Yellow Studio. Sorry, Yellow, Black, and White Studio. Great question here from Jason. What was the upgrade that was made to the MS-19 so that one person can pilot? Or did they just decide that one person can actually pilot it alone? Really great question there. I was reading into this a little bit earlier here. The full crew has been trained, just like we saw with Inspiration 4, to be able to deal with any emergency situations, fire, depressurizations, emergency landing, things like that. They've been trained to deal with that. They've had full zero-G flights and everything on there. Now, for the actual, just see, it looks like they lost their feed there for Russia for a second. For the commander, Anton, I'm not even going to say it, Anton, I'm going to mess up his last name. This will be his 4th space flight, which all occurred on Soyuz vehicles. He's been a flight engineer before. After his first mission, he then launched as a commander for a number of missions. Now, for it, I was reading here, just trying to find it here so I can quote this actually correctly for you, because it was quite unique in what they were actually doing. There was some remote control stuff they were going to do. Gave him a longer stick so he could reach more controls. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me just find this here. I saw it earlier today. There was going to be some remote control stuff as a mission engineer that I believe was from the ground. So there was actually some changes. I'm not seeing it. Maybe they took it down. I'll see if I can find that and bring that back up for you here, Jason. Maybe it was on the Roscosmos site. Let me take a look. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'll look it up and get you an update for that. Glenn, question, can you name the nationality and ages of the astronauts for Soyuz? Absolutely, I can try. So, for the crew, we have Anton, who is the commander. He was born in 1972. Graduated from the Air Force Engineering Academy in 1997. Immediately went into senior pilot instructor in the Russian Air Force. Became a cosmonaut in 2005. You got Klim Shipenko, who's the film director. Born in 1983, he's a Russian film director, screenwriter, actor, and producer. When he was 16, he moved to Los Angeles and studied at California State University in the Department of Cinema and Television Arts. Shipenko is well known for directing the Kito Ya, Who Am I in 2010, Salute 7 in 2017, and Text in 2019. For the last two movies, he received both Golden Eagle Award in 2018 and 2020, the award that recognizes excellence in his film industry. Of course, this will be his first flight. And then for the actress, they've got Yulia Peresild. She was born in 1984. She's a Russian actress, studied at the Russian Institute of Theater and Arts. Since 2003, she's appeared in over 30 films. Currently, she works for a theater of School of Modern Play and a Malaya Bronya Theater. She is well known among Russian audiences for her roles in Nevesta in 2006, Santa Lupicha in 2012, and the Battle of Sevastopol in 2015. She does a lot of charity work, helping to provide treatment for children with central nervous system disorders. This will also be her first flight. There was also backup crews in case something were to happen to either of them. The backup crew did include Oleg Armedev as the cosmonaut, actress Alyona Mordvina, and cameraman Alexei Dundon. So they had a full crew replacement in case any one of them got sick. Even up to, really at this point, they could swap someone out if they had to. But once they're fully strapped in there, they will be going with the crew that they have. But that was something very interesting compared to Inspiration 4. There was no backup crew for IF-4, or at least not that was ever publicly addressed. Is she single? I'm not too sure. You're going to have to look that one up. Is there like a Russian mingle site or something maybe? I don't know. If you're just joining us though, thanks for being here. Let us know where you're watching from. Take a moment, enjoy that like and subscribe button. Make sure to engage that like and subscribe button. Don't enjoy it. You can enjoy it if you want to as well. Glenn, thanks man, from New Zealand. Thanks so much, Glenn. Good question. Glad I was able to get an answer for you there. Gonna take a real quick camera break here, but we'll still be here answering your guys' live comments and questions. You can send those in to us in the chat. Tag us at the launch pad, and we will be glad to answer those for you. It can be about anything space flight, space engineering. So you can send those in, and we will continue to answer them. But you're watching our live launch coverage of MS-19, heading up to the International Space Station for 12 days to film the movie The Challenge. Stay with us. And we are back. First, I have to address a super chat that we got on while I was away. Augusto, thank you so much for that super chat of the dancing pearman with a big thumbs up. I appreciate you supporting the channel in that way. Thanks so much. Had to take a quick little break there. If you can hear it in my voice there, we've been struggling with a little bit of a cold coming back after being away for the last few weeks. Down in the States, just, working really hard, and came back. Not COVID. We've been, doing protocol and testing, and we're totally fine there. But a little bit of a seasonal cold. So, been catching up on that. So, I need to take some voice breaks every now and again. So, thanks for bearing with me there. He went on you guys always get these massive missions that I go on when I just went on a mission to Titan. Probably he's ambitious. Those Canadians with space stuff, probably getting methane from Titan for Elon Starship. My. You guys are crazy. So Rona did ask, the movie being released, what kind of scenes will they be filming? So we haven't been given a full film list, but they do apparently have quite a bit of filming that they are hoping to do. I think Jason makes a really good point that links into this. For the actress and the movie clips, do they test the makeup, styling products, things like that for 0G, for space-like conditions? Will it dry it out, cause contaminations, or just being a big greasy mess for everyone in the station? Some great points there, Jason. Excuse me, it's middle of the night here. Absolutely, they've been doing lots of testing. They did 0G testing for testing like what to do with the hair and makeup and things like that. So they have done a lot of testing, but really there's only so much testing that you can do until you're actually up there. And that's why they're going for 12 full days, is just so they do actually have that time frame to be able to test things, do final checks, and refilm and film scenes and make sure that they got everything, because there's no just, retake. Most movies, there is always an option to do retakes. They'll schedule it in, to the cycle of production. Not in this. This is a one-shot. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to answer any questions that you guys have. You can send those in to us in the chat using hashtag AskTLP or @TheLaunchPad, and I'll be able to answer those all live. Can be anything about space flight, anything like that. Thomas, he's poor shaming you again? No one's poor shaming you. No one's poor shaming. Uh, 12 days. But yes, 12 days. Not a lot of time to film. There's a lot of scheduled time in there for fitness, for health, for sleep periods, lots of different things. So you've also got, excuse me guys, sorry, it's a late evening. You also got all your setup and teardown time. It's not like you can set up all these cameras and just leave them floating around. This is still a working research station. So they can't just be in the way all the time. So there's lots of planning and scheduling on exactly when they'll be able to shoot what and in what modules and everything like that. From what we understand, it'll be mostly, if not all, shot in the Russian module segments, which doesn't surprise me, but be interesting to see. The U.S. segments are obviously quite a bit larger. Excuse me. If you're just joining us, though, you're watching our countdown to the launch of MS-19 to the International Space Station, carrying one Russian cosmonaut, a film director, and an actress to film the movie The Challenge. Not the entire movie. There's going to be a lot of stuff filmed here on Earth, but they are going to be filming a good portion of scenes up at the International Space Station. I bet there's going to be probably a bunch of filming in the cupola, a bunch of filming maybe even in the Soyuz. Jason, my college co-ed roommate's bathrooms is a crazy mess, makeup, beauty products everywhere, and that's only 3 girls. And that's with gravity. Imagine that with zero gravity. Yeah, it's definitely a totally different sector. And that's really the big thing about this, is it's really starting to open up that next era of filmmaking. Filming in space. I hope that the film is great, and I hope they have the time of their lives. Absolutely. I really hope they dub it in English. And, like, good dub it, not like one of these cheap dubs that you see on YouTube, like proper dubbing, so when it gets released, there's an English version. It'd be quite interesting to see. Andre, good luck. Let's go. Absolutely, Andre. We are counting it down. T-minus 2 hours, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. Very exciting day for this crew. Very exciting day for Roscosmos, for the film agency, and really just the film industry. Opening up this next era of what it can be like to film a movie. We've seen that these doors get pushed wide open this year of commercial suborbital spaceflight, then commercial and private orbital spaceflight. Now we're seeing the private space film industry open up. It's really quite incredible. You're seeing some scenes on your screen here from the movie the director made a number of years ago called Salyut 7, which was, I haven't watched it, but I've seen some clips from it. A really incredible movie about the Salyut 7 crash. This is why we drink coffee, not weak tea. I had tea earlier. Probably should have had a coffee, but I also want to be able to go to sleep once they launch. So it's a hard balance. But it was quite incredible, the Salyut 7 film. Just the footage that they were able to make is really incredible. Gian, bro, you're making me yawn. What time it is there? Sorry, man. It is it's 1 a.m. here. It's 1 a.m. But I've also been up since like 8, but then there was only a few hours of sleep last night, so sorry about that. I'll try not to. If it gets really bad, I'll go make a coffee. Nightcat, I'm just glad to be around to see all this progress in the private commercial sector, and seeing humans land again on the moon during my lifetime is a huge bonus. Absolutely, it's so exciting. I can't believe, we are months away from returning to the moon with a unmanned capsule. We are 3 years away from returning to the moon with Americans and the first Canadian. We are 4 years, not even 4 years away from returning and landing on the moon with the first woman and the first person of color. And then hopefully within another year, the first person from Canada. This is incredible rapid development. And that's using some older tech, SLS and things as well. But with the mix of, everything we're seeing now with Starship, with SLS, with Crew Dragon, taking what we learned with the shuttle and what we learned with the ISS, and are now being able to develop these new future crafts and new ideas of new space stations. The Lunar Gateway space station. It's really incredible what Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, as well as a number of other crafts, are going to be opening that door for us over the next couple of years. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment, engage that like and subscribe button. Helps us out. 60 people watching, only 35 likes. Take a moment, hit the like button. Let's see if we can get up to 50 likes. And let's see if we can hit that 6250 subscriber mark tonight. I think we can. Take a moment, share out the broadcast. It's free to do, and it really does help us out. thought they were playing a music video for a second there, but no, I think it's just an info video. But unfortunately, they are all in Russian. I do not speak Russian, so I can't help out dictating all of it, but we are going to be here. We are waiting also for NASA to start up their official live coverage here in just over an hour. Fossil, good morning from Denmark. Good morning. Is that guy dancing? That's what he says he's trying to do. Space Beetle, speaking of the moon, NASA seems to be worried about delays on Artemis due to so many legal barriers that BO's putting up. There were some time delay issues with Artemis's timeline that were not related to Blue Origin, that were related to SLS, related to the spacesuit program, a few other things. But yes, the Blue Origin contracts lawsuits could also end up causing some delays and some issues there. No, Thomas, don't do that. Don't do that. Matthias, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Where is SpaceX? SpaceX is SpaceX. They're doing their own thing. Tonight's Roscosmos. We hope to have a SpaceX launch here. We're expecting a Falcon Heavy, actually, in about a week. They better roll it out to the pad soon if that's going to happen. Just fake the translation. I won't know any better. Yeah, but that could end very poorly for me, so we're going to not do that. We'll work on trying to get someone that speaks Russian that can be here for us. If you guys have questions, you can send those in. We'll continue to answer them live as we count down to launch here this evening of Soyuz MS-19. In many ways, just replacing Soyuz MS-18 as it is already on orbit and will soon be expiring. So they'll be swapping them out. Crew launches on 19, will come home on 18. Launch with one commander, will be actually coming home with a different commander. You're still on the sunny side of the daisies? That's a good thing to hear, Gray. Well, they definitely lost that camera feed for Orion Baikonur. It's a very old-style camera fallback image. Oh, yeah, they get packed in there. It's a tight squeeze. And they are going to be in there for about 9 hours. And they're doing a fast rendezvous. Now, they do have a little bit more room once they're in orbit. They can go into, like, the second part of the capsule. But not for long, since they're going for an immediate docking. It's very possible they'll just stay in their seats the entire time. But you can see why Russia has so many Soyuz missions. I mean, look, there's 3 capsules fully stacked there that are being prepared for launch. There was a few others off to the side. They are in a rapid development system. You know, they're coming up on their number 2000 Soyuz launch. But in retrospect, it is a really small rocket. You're absolutely right, Well. It is a small rocket compared to something like a Falcon 9 with Crew Dragon. It is quite a bit smaller capsule. I mean, you could fit a couple Soyuz in Crew Dragon, really. If you're just joining us, though, welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the host here at the Launchpad. Take a moment, engage that like and subscribe button. Let us know where you're watching from, and feel free to send in any questions or thoughts you have. We're answering those live as we count down, as we have finally passed that T-minus 2 hour mark until launch of MS-19 to the International Space Station. Small rocket, but a workhorse. Absolutely. I mean, just think of the variety of things that it launches to. Like, constellation satellites, crews, larger satellites, International Space Station modules. There's a lot of different things that it can launch. We don't hope that, Joe. We hope they go safely. It's cozy, like a pillow fort. See, now you're just trying to make me tired again. That would actually be like kind of like a pillow fort in there. It would be cozy and warm. Probably a lot of vibrating though. I'm not sure that would help. We can see a great scale there just with them working on the Soyuz. Just for the size. It's not massive. So that, I believe, is the symbol for the movie, the challenge. That's like the title for it. Because we've seen it popped up quite a few places, so. There's a great scale of the fairing and everything as well. Doing some special decorative markings on it for the launch. For the historic launch, but also for the movie. It looks like they're doing some special decaling and paint jobs on it as well. Pillow forts in space. That'd be a sight. Absolutely. Not answering that one, Thomas. We're going to leave that one right there. You're spot on there, Joe. They were trained for emergencies, for decompressions, emergency landings, aborts, fires, different things there. They will not pilot the craft. That's the job of the commander and the pilot. The film director and the actress will not take control of the capsule at any point, but they do have training should they need to. I believe they train about 6 months, almost a year, similar to what we saw with the Inspiration 4 crew, where they learned enough to make it work. They began training May 24th, 2021. So actually a little less than the Inspiration 4 crew. So 4 months of training compared to Inspiration 4 had 6 months. The space capsule Soyuz seems to be outdated compared to the Dragon. What's the year of its construction? A great question. The maiden launch of the Soyuz was November 28th, 1966. That was an uncrewed test flight, or an uncrewed flight. The Soyuz 1, which was the first crewed flight, was on April 23rd, 1967. So, 67... So we're at 55 years? No, 55 years. Now, they do have the Progress craft as well, which is the expandable cargo variant of it as well. And then they do have the Shenzhou, which is a Chinese version of the Soyuz for the China space station. Surprised with that much training, they didn't just have to learn them to pilot or flight engineer like Inspiration 4. They do still have roles should something happen, but it's not something that they are. They're not planning for near that type of contingency, it seems. They know they'll have their commander on board who can take control. It is quite interesting seeing the difference there, though, Joe. I think you're spot on. Yeah, well over 50 years, 55 years old. Thanks, Sean. I do have it saved there. You have our email as well, so if you want to send us an email, the launchpadnews@gmail.com. You can go ahead and do that. I won't be able to do anything until I'm off air tonight. But if you would like to send us a business inquiry there's our email again in the chat. You can send that in there. Be glad to hear from you. I couldn't handle being strapped in so crowded with my legs that high up. Yeah, they're tight in there. They're tight, that's for sure. Do they need a boom operator for the movie? I'll do it for free. Hey, Matt, good to see you. I hope you and I want to say it's Rylan are doing well. It's been a few weeks, and good to see you guys back in here. Do they need a boom operator? I know. I volunteer too. That would be great. I like the purple bus livery. Yeah, it was neat to see they had some special buses for this launch as well. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment. Let us know where you're watching from. You can engage that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out as well. We want to see if we can get to that 6250 subscriber mark. So engage and subscribe. It really helps us out, and it's free to do so. That's one long boom. I mean, we'll just go in the station. I've even got a boom mic that I could bring, like a boom stick I could bring. I'll bring my own equipment to provide the rocket. I'll go. Preferably on a Crew Dragon. John from Clearwater, Florida. Great to see you. I know there is a little bit of a delay in the stream here this evening. Want to give a shout out again to Augusto for just your support tonight and your super chat. If you guys would like to help support what we do, you can do so a few different ways. Super chat, super stickers are always open, or you can join us as a YouTube member or a Patreon member. Patreon takes less of a percent, so that's always a better option. But we appreciate your guys' support in just being able to, help us plan budgets so we can be on the ground bringing you live launch coverage of some of these next breaking launches of Artemis, Falcon Heavy, Vulcan, lots of different things coming up. Nightcat Philippines, I like it when I can watch launches during the time when I'm awake. Oh, I understand that, Nightcat. I do. I enjoy them when they're my time too. I wouldn't even mind if it launched now, but the fact that we're still 2 more hours is it's pushing it. But this was the first launch since we got back home in the studio, and we didn't want to miss it. It's a special launch, and we know there's not normally a lot of English commentary, so we're we haven't done that in a little bit. We're going to run through just a little bit of the stats of today's mission. So if you're just joining us, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. You're watching our live launch coverage here on the launch pad of the Soyuz MS-19, a Soyuz 2.1A rocket launching from Launch Complex 31/6, the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The customer for today's mission is Roscosmos, the Channel 1, and the Yellow, Black, and White Studio. It's a very historic mission today, as it will only have 1 Russian cosmonaut on board and 2 private passengers. Spacecraft Soyuz will be rendezvousing with the International Space Station, which is currently, of course, in a low Earth orbit of about 400 kilometers at an inclination of 51.65 degrees. Soyuz is going to be doing a rapid approach and docking today, only completing 2 orbits before it has soft capture and hard capture just over the 3-hour mark. Obviously, Soyuz is not something that is recoverable. The first stage will crash into the steppes of Kazakhstan, and the fairings are new and obviously will not be recovered as well. Third crew mission to the International Space Station. We got Crew 3 of SpaceX, which will be the 4th mission, heading up on October 30th, with docking and opening the hatch on Halloween, just in time to do some trick-or-treating on October 31st. 9th mission this year from Baikonur, 55th mission of a Soyuz 2.1A rocket. 147th flight of a crewed Soyuz spacecraft already, which is incredible. And believe it or not, in 2021, we've already had 95 orbital launches. Really incredible to see. Been a busy year, and we still have October, November, and December. We still got 3 months. So that number, I think we're going to get to maybe the 115 mark. We knew there was supposed to be a lot of Starlinks and a bunch of rocket labs. The year's progressing, so we might not have as big as of a year we originally thought. We know there were some issues with not having enough liquid oxygen for SpaceX because of the pandemic and some other issues there. It just delays in advancing their equipment for Starlink, so maybe a little quieter this year than originally thought, but it just means next year will be even busier. First Falcon Heavies coming up later this year. We have 4 or 5 of them on docket for next year, so it'll be quite amazing year of testing of Starship, Falcon Heavy, Vulcan, lots of things coming soon. So make sure you've engaged the subscribe button, as we will be tracking all of it right here on the launch pad. John, question, would you go to Mars once Starship is ready to go? I wouldn't go on the first one. If I could go to Mars and know I could come home in like 3 years, like a year there, 9 months there, a year, come home, or 6 months there, come home, like whatever it is, I would do that. I'm not sure I would go if it was a one-way. Maybe if it was the end of my life, but it really depends on what my family is. At this point, I wouldn't go anywhere long term, but if I could go somewhere for a week or two at this point, like moon or space station, I would go now. Inspiration 4 launch happened while I was asleep. Watched the replay when I woke up. Well, we were there, and it was incredible to see. It was gorgeous, beautiful, clear night. The launch nebula that it created was absolutely gorgeous, and the feeling, it's hard to explain seeing a launch. If you haven't seen a launch in person, you have to do it, but fair warning, once you do one, you get hooked. Use the boom as a space elevator. What is the material the Soyuz is made of, and why is it a bubble, bubble, bubble? Oh, yeah, why does it look like bubbles? For re-entry, that was a big part of it. And it's metal. Yep, 3 hours to the International Space Station. I had longer flights going to Florida. Like, me traveling from my town to Florida to cover Inspiration 4 took three times, including the layover, as long as it's taking them to go to the International Space Station. I also traveled about 25 times the distance they will travel to get to the International Space Station. It's really incredible, like, if you went straight up. SpaceX being a private company, could they pack up and move to another country? They could move, doesn't change things. They are always going to be U.S. company. It's what they first registered as, so they will always be under the FAA. So Ron, I want to retire on Mars and never go back. Yeah, let us know in the chat. When would you want to go to Mars? Let us know in the chat. I'd love to hear it. John, yes, very true, Zach. I would love to go to Mars myself. That being my dream since a kid, explore all the planets, the Milky Way. I've heard it is very beautiful. I think the views would be incredible. I'm not sure it would be necessarily all that enjoyable. A lot of work that you have to do. That's the thing. Mars is not going to be a vacation. Neither is the moon. But I definitely think it'd be well worth the experience, which would be quite exciting. We're going to take another quick pause here. I'm going to refill this beverage so we can keep streaming here through the launch, so bear with us here, but we will be right back in just a couple of minutes. So stay with us right here on the Launchpad. You're watching our live launch coverage of MS-19 to the International Space Station. Stay with us. And we are back. Thanks for that little break there, guys. Needed to rest the voice, refill the drink, get some sugar. But we are now less than T-minus 90 minutes and counting until the launch of MS-19 to the International Space Station. What time is the launch for the East Coast? Let me grab that for you. They are targeting 1:25 a.m. Eastern, 1:25 a.m. Pacific. That's gotta be delayed. Sorry. Launch time 4:55. So 1:55 a.m. Pacific. There you go. Yeah, 1:55 a.m. Pacific, 2:55 a.m. Mountain, 4:55 a.m. Eastern is the scheduled launch time for today's launch. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to welcome you here. If you're new, welcome. My name is Zach. I'm the host here at the Launchpad. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, and we believe that space is better together, so we invite you to join our community by engaging that subscribe button, hitting like, and inviting your friends and family to join us by sharing the link out tonight. We know for those of us on this side of the world, for North America, it is a later evening, or, depending how you look at it, a really early morning. But what we're going to do is we're going to be live for the launch, and then we'll do a replay of the docking, I believe, later, just because it is going to be it's going to be a late night. Kyle, I tweeted your live stream, by the way. I'm from California. Thanks so much, Kyle. I appreciate that. Good to see you in the chat again. It's been a little bit, but good to see you. Those experiment beds look kind of cozy, not going to lie. I know, like right now, she looks really cozy. Like, can I volunteer? But if you're just joining us, you're watching our live launch coverage of Soyuz MS-19. It's a Soyuz 2.1A rocket launching to the International Space Station. Really quick rendezvous today, just 3 hours. About 2 hours after that, we expect hatch open. As this Soyuz is carrying a very different crew. Only one Russian cosmonaut is on board and 2 private passengers, 1 film director and 1 actress. The fast track to orbit, Willie Coyote strapped on the maneuver is kind of confusing. It's a good question, Jason. It's a bunch of things. I haven't dived too deeply actually into it. Hopefully they will do so on the NASA stream, which we expect to be able to patch NASA in about 45 minutes. That's when we're expecting them to begin their live coverage of today's launch as well, because it is the International Space Station. They do live. We've been trying to get those back up, Kyle. We switched streaming platforms, and the current platform doesn't want to connect to the Facebook page for some reason. We've been working on it. We took a couple of weeks off, obviously, because we were on the ground. But we are trying to get that back up and running, because we do know Facebook was a really great option there. Worst case scenario, we'll go back to our previous system. Find a way to make it work to get it on Facebook, but we want to try to get back on Facebook, absolutely. Yeah, it's on my list to actually reach out to the company we're using to be like, hey, it'll stream to my personal Facebook page, but it won't stream to a Facebook page, like actual page, so. We've been doing some testing to try to get that back up and running, but good question. Because, yeah, I saw you on Facebook before. I mean, you can share the YouTube link, but I know it's definitely not the same. The Facebook links are a lot nicer with the autoplay and things, absolutely. we'll try to get those up. I'll put that on my list this week to reach out to. See if we can get those up by sometime this month. Because we really would like to. If you're just joining us, take a moment, let us know where you're watching from. Feel free to send in any questions you have. We'd love to answer those live for you. Joe Pilot, greetings from Hong Kong. Hello, Joe. Thanks so much for being here. Was in Hong Kong years ago. Loved it. Was only there for 30 hours. I was in China for a few weeks, but I definitely would like to come back and see Hong Kong when I'm able to. That's awesome, Kyle. Me too. I want to say I was probably 4 or 5 when I started watching them. I was drawing space shuttles at 4, like to scale. I think I was 6 or 7 when I talked to the space station for the first time. Actually, from this room. That's one thing we're going to try to get set up again. Is our we still have our tower and stuff, so hopefully we can talk to the space station sometime during one of these streams. Obviously, if we have a orbital flyby, and a lot of things have to go in there, but yeah. Miss seeing the space shuttle. Yeah, I never got to see a space shuttle launch in person, but I really wish I did. SLS is going to be our closest thing to it, and hopefully we'll have that very soon. They have to launch by February 10th, I believe it is. If they don't launch by then, the SRBs expire, so then they will have to build new SRBs. So they're on a tight timeline now to be ready to launch. If you're just joining us, we're at T-minus 1 hour, 20 minutes until launch of MS-19 to the International Space Station. The crew has boarded the Soyuz capsule. It's all tight and snug and pretty much ready to go. We are monitoring the Roscosmos Twitter feed as they keep putting out updates for us. Launch is still currently scheduled for 8:55 UTC. But the crew is doing well. Kyle. Yeah, absolutely. I lived in Southern California for a bit. And definitely was always wishing that they would land in Edwards more. Because if it lined up, we might have been able to drive up and see it. But the one time it could have happened, we went to Edwards, actually. Got to visit Edwards. And that was really amazing, getting to visit Edwards Air Force Base as they were preparing for the shuttle. Got to do that for an afternoon. And the shuttle had an option to land there the next day. But it ended up landing back at Florida instead. So no shuttle that day. But was really hoping that we would. And then actually the city I live in here in Canada, just north of our city, we have a base. And we actually had the fourth runway that they would be able to land the shuttle at. That they actually did consider once. Both Edwards and Kennedy were not go because of weather. They had to bring the crew home due to food, I believe it was. and they had already detached from the ISS, so they were limited on their food. They had to bring the crew home, and they were looking at either White Sands or they actually said Edmonton. The Canadian military, being smart, decided, we've never used this runway before. Let's build some buildings on it. So the one time NASA needed it, they called to be like, hey, is the runway available? They're like, oh no, there's a McDonald's and a Starbucks on it. Can you weave around? So they didn't do that. And then I think they ended up landing at Kennedy anyways. The weather cleared just enough. Liquid Wings blessed this mission. The Russians first again. I'm a filmmaker watching from the UK. That's amazing. The UK Syndrome film team in the house. Well, hello to that team. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. Keep up the amazing work. All the best from the launch and the UK film industry. Absolutely. Kyle, you live in Canada. Is that what I heard? Absolutely. Yeah, I'm from Alberta. Edmonton is home. Lived in the States for a number of years, like for half the year at a time. So, feels like a second home, but yeah, I am Canadian. That's why when I go to Kennedy, I'm a foreign national for media. So, it takes a little more paperwork. Let us know in the chat where you guys are watching from. Love to welcome you in. A Canadian YouTuber. That's what they keep calling me. I guess I should adopt that term now, YouTuber. I really just started this as a passion project, and I love doing it, and it's been a lot of fun, and excited to see where it goes. We got some big plans for this year. And when I say this year, I mean like 2022 this year. 2021, we still got some big plans left too, but 2022, ooh, we got some big ones. See a breakdown of the capsule. That's an interesting point to the Soyuz. They are hidden within that fairing during the launch. T-minus 1 hour, 15 minutes, 30 seconds until liftoff. Sir Rokill, good to see you. Been a little bit. Wasn't there a really far down on the list site near Moose Lake, Washington, Eastern Washington? There might have been. There was a lot of like worst case, we have to land, know where we want to land, work locations. Some of them were interstates, some of them were other runways. So there's possible. Let me pull it up and see. Yeah, because there was the 2 runways at Kennedy, because obviously they could land either direction. And then there was 4 or 5 runways at Edwards. There was White Sands, which only ever saw 1. There was the transoceanic abort landing sites, which they had ones in Portugal, Spain, and France, as well as in Germany, Morocco, Senegal, Nigeria. Excuse me, there was quite a few actually. In some cases, here was some of the options. In some cases, in search and launch abort situations where the mission profile supported a trajectory for such landing, a number of runways on the east coast of the United States and Canada could have been used for east coast abort landing situations. The following sites could have been, and it's a massive list, but it includes Miami, Florida, a couple of the smaller New York airports, a New Jersey airport, South Carolina, Dover's Air Force Base, North Carolina, a couple international airports in Canada, St. John's Airport, Gander International Airport. Now, really interesting thing there with Gander. Gander was a huge part to do with 9/11, so it's interesting seeing it listed here because it was known as it had a long runway because it was like a fueling point for the big missions over the ocean. So it had big runways for big planes to land to refuel to make the rest of the way over North America. There was an idea of a site in Nebraska. Not seeing anything for Washington. But I mean, again, it could have been one of those ones. Now, there was a lot of talks about what if they started launching from Vandenberg, because there was a lot of launches scheduled for Vandenberg because it had a runway that they were building, and then it would have had a lot of abort scenarios as well. But it was scrubbed after Challenger, because Challenger was STS-51 and STS-62 was supposed to be the first one out of Vandenberg, and then they never reactivated the Vandenberg program, unfortunately. We didn't have the live feeds with all the space shuttle flights when I was young. Yeah, they would live them on NASA TV, but they weren't like live. They weren't like to the second, really. And they were nowhere near what their live coverage is now. Most shuttle landings were Florida, California, Mexico. There was only one that ever landed in White Sands, New Mexico, which is still the U.S. Only one ever landed in New Mexico. It's like 85% of them, I think, landed in Florida, and then the rest in California. Honolulu International Airport was one. Interesting. Yeah, depending on what point in the abort they could definitely come all the way around. But yeah, they had intended that Vandenberg would be a very busy port, but spaceport, but unfortunately never really occurred. They built the infrastructure. They had a pad ready. But yeah, never did it. So, Roko, I do know for the most fact that they were a ground station network here. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely there'd be ground stations. There's ground stations all over the U.S. Still are. If you're just joining us, though, welcome. We're coming up on T-minus 1 hour to the launch of MS-19 to the International Space Station. We're excited that you're here with us. We're tracking Roscosmos for any updates. The crew has boarded and apparently are doing well. In 4 months, they've completed their training and have prepared their payloads for their 12-day mission to the International Space Station. Big thing is they will not be returning on this capsule. They will actually be returning on MS-18, which is currently on station. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment and engage that subscribe button. Let's see, can we get to 6,200 before the hour mark? We got 8 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. 6,200. We appreciate each and every one of you being here. We invite you to be part of our crew. We got lots of big stuff we're excited to share with you in the future, including 24/7 live cameras coming very soon at a number of different locations, and we look forward to sharing more in the near future. I think my camera froze there for a second. Trying some new monitor layouts, so moving some stuff around as we go. We are keeping an eye on NASA as they should be going live here in the next about 20 minutes or so with their live coverage from NASA Johnson Space Center and mission control there. If you're just joining us, though, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. We're here to answer your questions as we count down the last hour until the launch of MS-19 to the International Space Station, carrying just one Russian cosmonaut and 2 private astronauts, 1 film director, and 1 actress to film the movie The Challenge. Still going to be here to answer some of your questions. We'll, MS-18 sounds like a cosmonaut gang. Yeah, it's pretty close to the other one, so try not to think about it. T-minus 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 30 seconds and counting. Things are looking good for an on-time launch. This is an instantaneous launch window, as it is a launch to the International Space Station. So should anything delay it today, they would have to scrub at least 12 hours to the next window, most likely 24 hours. Not sure how long I was muted there, but sorry guys. Didn't mean to mute there the whole time. If you're just joining us though, welcome. We are now T-minus 59 minutes, 45 seconds and counting to the launch of MS-19 to the International Space Station. Let me know in the chat, did you hear my response to cooking lessons with Neelix or flying lessons from Paris? Let me know. As we count down the final hour, we are waiting for NASA to begin their live coverage as well. And when they do so, we will patch them in so we can listen into their live commentary as well. But we'll be able to have both on screen so you can keep up to date with both Roscosmos and with NASA for who's going to have the better coverage of tonight's launch. Generally, NASA does have a few seconds more of a delay just because Roscosmos does have to send them their feed first. Ralph sounds great. Awesome. Thanks so much. Let's see. Can we get 10 more subscribers before launch? Engage that subscribe button. Does help us out. We are excited to do some giveaways here leading into the holiday season. Some new merch drops as well. Lots of things coming up. So you're going to want to make sure you have joined us on our Discord if you haven't as well. Link is in the description. Totally free to join. We'd love to invite you just to join our community in that way. 4 a.m. It's, yeah, it is 4 a.m. Means we are 55 minutes away and about 26 seconds away from launch. So it's going to start ticking down here very quickly. NASA will be getting its live coverage here in the next few minutes as well, which will give us an idea of just what is occurring, what led up to today's flight. Roscosmos, unfortunately, only does English coverage. Generally speaking, we haven't been able to find any English coverage for tonight's launch. So we've been doing our best to fill you in kind of with what's happening. Excuse me. As we count down to liftoff here of NS-19. And take another quick little pause, and we will be back when NASA goes live. We're just going to make sure everything's patched in here all right. So give us just a couple minutes, and I will be right back. You're watching our live launch coverage of MS-19 to the International Space Station. Stay with us. And if you are just joining us, welcome back here to the launch pad. You're watching our live launch coverage of MS-19 to the International Space Station. We are now at T-minus 46 minutes, 20 seconds until liftoff, and we are waiting for NASA to pull up their live coverage here as well. And we are excited to be able to patch that in for you, to be able to see both as we count down the final 45 minutes until liftoff of tonight's flight. If you're just joining us, though, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. We'd love to welcome you here as we count down these remaining 45 minutes. And if you have questions, you can drop those in the chat, and we'll be able to answer those as well. It doesn't have to be directly related to tonight's flight, but anything space flight, space engineering, and we would be glad to answer that for you here this evening. If you're new, take a moment, engage that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out, and it's free to do so, and we would appreciate you supporting us in that way. There we go. It looks like NASA's getting all streamed up here, so we're going to patch them in at this point. And we will be listening into their audio as well as doing our own live commentary as they will give us an update on just the status of the rocket and how things have been progressing here this evening. We have been keeping an eye on the Roscosmos Twitter and their updates as they have progressed through this evening. Everything seems to have been going well. The crew is on board and ready to go, and they are continuing with the count as we come down to T-minus 44 minutes and 8 seconds until scheduled liftoff. They're launching from Kazakhstan today at the Baikonur Cosmodrome at Launch Complex 31-6, launching into, as always, for the ISS an inclination 51.65 degrees, aiming for the International Space Station at an altitude of 400 kilometers in a low Earth orbit. They're going to be doing a quick rendezvous, just 2 orbits, 3 hours. Even less than that, they'll have soft capture. Hard capture expected at the 3-hour and about 12-minute mark later today. We're going to stay live for the launch. We'll do an official replay of the docking later in the day as it is stretching just a little too late into the middle of the night for us, and we're still recovering from being on the ground in 2 weeks in Starbase and at Kennedy, but we wanted to make sure we brought you this special launch here this evening. Just making sure NASA was still live there. We're just waiting for them to start up their stream here. While we wait on them, we can punch up the Russia feed here, give you a little bit better of a view. Just more of them talking through just all the procedures of Soyuz and everything there. But in that bottom right corner, you can see that countdown clock. And I couldn't imagine being that film director or the actress right now sitting on board that Soyuz. Probably pretty tight, not very comfortable, but full of excitement, knowing that in less than an hour you are going to be experiencing 0G. You're going to experience it for 12 days and get to go visit the International Space Station. Really would be incredible. Excited to see what footage they film. We're really hoping we'll be able to watch this film once it is released. Well, even though only one professional cosmonaut is aboard, the spacecraft could reach the station in just 2 orbits. Correct rule, that's what they're going. They're still doing a 2-orbit rendezvous. They are going to have the commander do kind of 2 people's jobs, as well as they have now automated one of the systems to be able to be remote controlled from what it sounded like from the ground. Excuse me. Not a lot of info has been released on that, probably because it's the first time they've ever done it. But we're hoping after a successful mission, maybe we'll be able to learn finally some more on how they made the Soyuz able to do this, either partially automated or automated from the ground, at least. Really great question and call out there, absolutely. T-minus 41 minutes and counting. You can see there's still people out at the pad taking photos and videos. Lots of the crew there. They are going to begin clearing that facility. They generally do that in the kind of 30 to 40 minute mark. But there can be people quite late out at the pad as they go for a quick clear. And just one long broomstick. Yeah, they've got the clickers in there. What is that? That was quite the spacesuit on the screen there for a moment. What in tarnation? Okay, that's new. But yes, they use those pointer sticks. Because they're strapped in so tight and there's not enough room, they actually have to use pointer sticks to be able to push the buttons for Soyuz. So he probably's got a little bit of a longer stick to be able to reach some of those other buttons a little further over. Looks like Johnson is getting ready to spool up here. We'll listen in.
You are looking live at Launch Pad 6 at Site 31 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, where it is early afternoon, where a Soyuz 2.1A booster stands fully fueled, and where the watch phrase of the day is lights, camera, action. A veteran Russian cosmonaut, a veteran Russian actress, and a veteran Russian film producer-director are poised to blast off less than 40 minutes from now to deliver a new Soyuz spacecraft to the International Space Station, the Soyuz MS-19, and to film elements of a movie titled Challenge as part of an agreement between the Russian space agency Roscosmos and Moscow-based media and production companies. Good morning from Mission Control Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where another unique chapter in the expansion of commercial space activities is about to be written. 49-year-old Russian cosmonaut Anton Shkaplerov about to begin his fourth flight into space, flanked on his left aboard the Soyuz by 38-year-old film producer-director Klim Shipenko, and on his right by 37-year-old actress Yulia Peresild. Shipenko and Peresild will spend almost 12 days on the orbital outpost, filming scenes for the aforementioned movie Challenge. They will return to Earth on October 17th, Kazakhstan time, for a landing in the Soyuz MS-18 spacecraft with veteran Russian cosmonaut Oleg Novitsky, who will be a subject in the movie that they're filming on board, and who has been in orbit since April. Shkaplerov will remain on the station until next March, returning to Earth in the Soyuz MS-19 with NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei and Russian cosmonaut Pyotr Dubrov. Today's launch will put Shkaplerov, Peresild, and Shipenko on a fast-track two-orbit rendezvous.
Originally, they were going to be coming down in November, so that's really good to hear that update there.
With a docking schedule to the Rosviet module on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the station. There they will be greeted about 2 hours after docking by the new station commander Thomas Pesquet of the European Space Agency and the rest of the Expedition 65 crew. Peresild and Shipenko will not be expedition crew members, but rather spaceflight participants under the terms and agreements for the execution of their film-making mission. The Expedition 65 crew is awake. They have had their daily planning conference with centers around the world, and they're ready to watch the launch on a feed that will be uplinked to them from Mission Control here in Houston, and then several hours later greet the new arrivals to the station. That will expand the population of the station from 7 crew members to 10 crew members.
That music is
Shkaplerov, Peresild, and Shipenko flew from their training base at the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center to the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan about a week and a half ago. This past Saturday, on a gorgeous morning in the Central Asian desert, the traditional rollout of the Soyuz booster and the Soyuz MS-19 began from the integration building to which the elements of the Soyuz had been mated over the course of the past few days. For launch operations at Site 31, it is a short trip from that integration building to the launch pad, only about a 30-minute rollout. The rollout again taking place under cool conditions, very cold conditions for an early October morning in Baikonur as the Soyuz slowly made its way horizontal on the rail car that is traditional to reach the launch pad, where hydraulics then lifted the Soyuz 2.1A booster to its vertical position, allowing technicians to begin hooking up data lines, electrical lines, and fuel lines for the final processing of the rocket over the past few days.
That music is actually coming through the Johnson Space Center feed.
Rollout of the rocket this past Saturday to the launch pad. We can tell you that the Soyuz was fully fueled about 4.5 hours ago. The crew arrived at the launch pad some 2.5 hours ago, climbed aboard. We'll be seeing launch day activity B-roll coming up a short time from now, about 10 minutes from now, on our feed from Baikonur. Again, you can see the hydraulics off of the rail car lifting the Soyuz booster to its vertical position. Again, this occurred this past Saturday. Once they climbed aboard the spacecraft earlier this morning, Shkaplerov, Shipenko, and Peresild conducted leak checks on their Sokol launch and entry suits, and everything was reported to be in good shape for liftoff that is scheduled just 34 minutes from now. Launch time is 3:55 and 2 seconds a.m. Central Time, 4:55 and 2 seconds a.m. Eastern Time, 1:55 p.m. at the launch site at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Once the Soyuz was vertical on the launch pad, the gantry arms swung shut around the vehicle to enshroud the spacecraft, allowing the technicians to begin hooking up all of the critical connections for data, for power, and for fuel that enable them to begin the final few days of processing of the Soyuz for a launch that is coming up a short time from now.
Now, I was saying there, yes, Jason, duration to say, originally we had heard MS-19 was coming home in November. That might have just been an earlier scheduling thing before some things had shifted earlier this year with Crew 2 and 3. So most likely that's what it was there. Raul asking about training, if they would be trained on other modules. Yes, they would be trained on anything they need to have for the International Space Station to be there, to be able to be allowed on board. It is quite a substantial agreement to be able to be allowed on board. It's very limited how many people can go on board. We have a video from a couple months ago, breaks down all the new pricing and requirements to be able to visit the International Space Station. So make sure to check that out following the launch.
Up this morning at 3:55 and 2 seconds a.m. Central Time, the International Space Station will be flying 260 miles over southwestern Kazakhstan. The ISS will fly directly over the Baikonur Cosmodrome 33 seconds after launch, its trajectory allowing it to leapfrog ahead of the Soyuz as the Soyuz climbs toward orbit. It will take 8 minutes and 45 seconds for the Soyuz to reach its preliminary orbit. Now you see video yesterday from the State Commission and the final remarks of the crew to the State Commission as they pronounced their readiness for launch.
And now the microphone is given to Mr. Rogozhnikov. I'm sure that, well, Oleg is a professional, cosmonaut and the guys. I'm sure they're looking ahead for a future higher orbit in their professional activities. Thank you very much. And now,
And now we're back live at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan as those
Not
gantry
sure what that
arms have
was.
begun to retract, exposing the Soyuz 2.1A rocket, which is fully fueled, venting liquid oxygen. As it is being replenished, the vehicle will go on internal power shortly before launch. The Soyuz is a three-staged rocket. Again, it will take 8 minutes and 45 seconds for the Soyuz spacecraft with the crew inside the descent module, or the center stage of the three-sectioned spacecraft. They are strapped into their seats with Shkaplerov in the center seat as Soyuz commander, flanked on his left by Klim Shipenko and on his right by Yulia Peresild. Once the Soyuz separates from the upper stage, or the third stage of the Soyuz rocket, the solar arrays on the Soyuz will deploy almost immediately along with its navigation. Beyond, automated rendezvous operations will begin almost immediately to meet this two-orbit fast-track approach of the Soyuz for the docking that is scheduled at 7:12 a.m. Central Time, 8:12 a.m. Eastern Time. You're hearing some traditional Russian music that is being played for the crew on board by the launch conductor at the blockhouse in Baikonur. Site 31 is being utilized for Soyuz and Progress cargo mission launches to the International Space Station, while Gagarin's launch pad, Site 1, is under renovation and reconstruction. People are fond of asking about mascots, the zero-G indicator mascots that usually hang over the center seat of the Soyuz. There are two that you may catch a glimpse of, assuming we have in-cabin television. You see a picture of them on the left is a toy cheetah that Anton Shkaplerov's daughter gave to him as a zero-G indicator and mascot. On the right is a baby bird that Yulia Peresild contributed, also a symbol of the charity fund that she's a part of. Both of those mascots will be hanging over Anton Shkaplerov in the center seat of the Soyuz as zero-G indicators during the climb to orbit and their arrival in their preliminary orbit to begin the chase to catch up to the International Space Station. Checking. The call sign that you'll hear from Mission Control in Moscow for Anton Shkaplerov and his Soyuz vehicle is Astreus, which is an astrological deity in Greek mythology associated with the winds. So you'll be hearing that call, the call sign for Soyuz MS-19 from launch to docking, and ultimately for the return home next March, when Shkaplerov will be joined by NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei and Russian cosmonaut Pyotr Dubrov. Vande Hei and Dubrov will be returning to Earth in late March to complete some
today here, but we're currently sitting at T-minus 24 or 24 minutes and 50 seconds. You can see here's crew walk out early this morning as they had arrived at the launch site for a very busy day ahead of today's midday launch. Quick stars from Latvia, Eastern Europe. Thanks so much for being here. If you are new, take a moment, engage that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, and we invite you to join our crew because we do believe that space is better together. So you can do that by engaging the subscribe button. It's totally free to do so. We want to see, can we hit that 6,200 subscriber mark before launch and 100 likes. There's 140 people watching and only 70 likes. So let's see if we can hit that 100 mark. You can see the unique livery on the bus there, the purple. There was the crew coming into the kind of final press conference room, family meet room, after they had their suit up earlier this morning. So they go through some final checks and stuff there as well as they get prepared to get strapped in. Then they make their way out to the launch site, up the tower, and then actually get strapped in. But you can just see how high their knees have to go. And they've been in that position now for well over an hour. They still have got another 45 minutes or so until they'll be in 0G and be a little bit more comfortable there.
To the orbital outpost on a previous Progress resupply mission.
Good morning. So, are you in good mood?
And a view of the backup to Yulia Peresild.
Didn't make it here. But anyway, good morning, Pavel. All right, let's not wake him up. And this is Lake Chuck. And this is Anton Shkaplerov. He is donning the gloves now. This process will last for at least another 30 minutes because this so-called spacesuit leak check must be done for each cosmonaut. You know, I think I can approach him.
There is Klim Shipenko, the producer-director for the movie Challenge that will be shot on board the International Space Station. The premise of the movie is that Peresild portrays a surgeon being launched to the station to perform an emergency procedure on an ailing crew member who will be portrayed for the movie by Oleg Novitsky, hardly ailing. Novitsky hale and hearty on board the orbital outpost.
Алло.
Okay. Are you without warm suits this time? Well, it's a little bit too early. You remember last time it was minus 20 centigrade and the strong wind? Is it warmer now at Baikonur? Yes. So, what is on schedule at this moment? Well, the State Commission members are about to join us. I'm sure we will listen to some kind words and some good wishes. Then we will step outside. Then we must take the bus. It will take about 50 minutes for a bus ride, and then 2 hours and 45 minutes prior to launch, we'll start ingress in our space vehicle. Yeah, I remember there is a large tree there, right next to it. Well, great job, guys.
Once again, you're watching a video that was captured a few hours ago down at the integration building at Site 254 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, where the crew suited up. And you see the video of them undergoing the leak checks to their Sokol launch and entry suits.
Any fancy speeches, I just want to say a few kind words. It's not important for her. What is important is that we're right here next to her, very, very happy for her. She is answering us, and in about 2 minutes, the leak check of her spacesuit will start, and then she'll be able to talk to us a little bit. Okay. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
Klim Shipenko is designated as board engineer number 1, seated to the left of Shkaplerov in the descent module of the Soyuz MS-19. Peresild is board engineer number 2 in the right seat of the descent module for today's launch.
Kiosks with some stop and go kind goods. Okay, we wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Well, I believe my producers cannot see me right now. Okay, please hurry up. And now please step aside. All right, you guys are one merry crowd.
No, keep in mind this was recorded earlier, but I just love hearing the real reactions.
Please, the people on the side 254, make sure you stream the video to them. Now, this is the narration for the movie. Okay, now I'm in the frame. Okay. Yeah, you can take the cap off. See? My cap is right there. I took it off. Make sure we all got the right suits, right? Well, the names help.
So this is some video footage from earlier today when the
hearts.
Crew got to see their family for the last time, answer some last media questions.
We finished the meeting of the state
before they
committee,
headed out to the pad.
And now the loading can start. All technical systems and discipline reported on the full readiness, and the launch site is ready, and of course the crew commander is as well. Our meteo is fine. The weather is stable, so everything goes on as scheduled. We would like to listen to your report right now, and then we'll have more talk with you. But I wish you the most successful completion of your mission, and all the best. Thank you. Thank you. I wish you successful launch, great mission, and safe landing. We'll be waiting you here on the ground, and the ground will be supporting you every step of the way. Well, we talked a lot about past and the future of the space mission, so guys, we're always with you.
You can really see just how excited she is.
And shortly thereafter, the crew did their traditional walkout from the 254 integration building in Baikonur.
The crew commander reports the crew is ready for the space flight.
You know, see this, you can see how big it was for people there, but it's been interesting, not a lot of media attention on today's launch. This is a very big launch for the future of the film industry, for commercial spaceflight. This is the first time that two people are going up on a Soyuz as commercial passengers, not as a crew to the ISS, and not just as a tourist on board, but to actually do work. They are going to film a movie. This is opening a whole new era again of the International Space Station and of spaceflight, and it's incredible that in just 13 and a half minutes they'll be launching and opening that next era, and a lot of people are talking about it. So take a moment, share out the link on your social medias, even if you don't normally share space stuff or things like that. Let people know, join the conversation, tune in for the next 15-20 minutes. Experience this history with us, and we're excited to keep an eye as the countdown continues towards the launch here this evening.
All right. Do not climb that high right now. Just a little bit lower, like this. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Anton. One more time. Come back soon, guys. Safe return.
And that was video shot earlier this morning of the crew's launch day activities, including their suit up and arrival at the launch pad, where they have been strapped inside the descent module now for about 2.5 hours, undergoing systems checks and communications checks with flight controllers at the blockhouse in Baikonur and at mission control in Korolyov on the outskirts of Moscow. The countdown is less than 11 minutes now until launch. Everything is in readiness. The Soyuz has been fully fueled. All systems are in good shape. The skies are clear. And the clock ticking backward toward liftoff at 3:55 and 2 seconds a.m. Central Time, 4:55 and 2 seconds a.m. Eastern Time. At the launch site in Baikonur, 1:55 p.m. will be launch time. And the appropriate strains of Rocket Man being piped up to the crew for the final minutes of this countdown as we approach the T-minus 10-minute mark.
Launch lead. 5-minute readiness is announced. Close your helmets. Copy. Closing helmets. 5-minute readiness.
Flight recorders have now been activated aboard the Soyuz MS-19.
So we're just navigating them having that music here, guys, just because we know. Trying to get the audio, but not this music here. Are coming down T-minus 9 minutes. Yes, they've been inside for just over 2 hours now. There's a view of the crew as they are preparing. They were told at the T-minus 5 minute mark to close their helmets. Looks like they've closed them a little early.
Yulia Peresild in the right seat. To her left in the center seat is Soyuz commander Anton Shkaplerov, about to begin his 4th flight into space.
If you're just joining us, though, take a moment. Let us know where you're watching from.
Launch lit. S3 helmets are closed and Rescue 8 KSS are ready. Copy.
If you're new, take a moment, engage the like and subscribe button. It does help. There's that pointer. We were all waiting for the pointer.
Rescue 8 are in readiness mode.
The dangling bluebird thing's already in the way. It's very interesting that we're hearing the music this time. We don't normally hear the music. Let's see, almost 200 people watching and not even 100 likes. Let's see, can we get to 100 likes before liftoff? Take a moment, engage the like button. And if you're just joining us, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. We got people all over the world. We'd love to welcome you from where you're watching from. T-minus 7 minutes, 20 seconds.
Mark. A special key is inserted into a start component on the blockhouse in Baikonur.
The camera is directed at S3 1 and 2.
Once again, at the time of launch, the International Space Station will be flying over southwestern Kazakhstan and will fly directly over Baikonur some 33 seconds after launch, ultimately leapfrogging ahead of Soyuz during its trajectory. At the time of 3rd stage shutdown and spacecraft separation, 8 minutes and 45 seconds after launch, the Soyuz will be some 1,200 miles behind the International Space Station, and the chase will be on, launching into a very narrow 14.6 degree phase angle. Think of it as moving on to a very narrow lane on a highway to permit a 2-orbit rendezvous and just over 3 hours between launch and docking to the International Space Station. Coming up on T-minus 6 minutes and counting.
Very large range of music they've been listening to today. A little different from what we're used to with like SpaceX, where it's kind of like a, you know, each person picks a couple songs. Probably similar, but just a much wider range of type of music. The music's coming from the official Roscosmos feed.
According to the schedule, I will provide the commentary of the launch. This is S3-1, copy all. Everything is good on board. We are ready for launch.
Soyuz Commander Anton Shkaplerov reporting back to the blockhouse in Baikonur that the crew is ready to fly.
I like that
Coming
they
up
have
on
to.
the T-minus 5.
I love that they have to clarify who will call the launch when there are only 5 minutes to launch. No, don't worry. I got it. I'll do it. It's an old system, but it still works somehow. Coming T-minus 5 minutes.
And the fuel lines and other elements of the rocket engines are being purged with nitrogen that fireproofs the engines by removing vapors of fuel and oxidizer. T-minus 4 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
They are launching from Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan from Launch Complex 31/6.
Within the next 2 minutes, propellant drain back will occur. That will allow the Soyuz 2.1A booster to have the right amount of fuel for its first stage performance, and booster propellant tanks will be pressurized.
T-minus 3 minutes, 40 seconds there. Great to see where you're all from. Denmark, Orange, New South Wales, Australia. We've got Czech Republic and Central Europe, Germany. Good to see you. We had Bali a little bit ago. Australia, California, Black Griffins in Arizona. Great to see you. Bollywood.
Uneligible.
Nigeria, great to see you all here. Thanks for being here. T-minus 3 minutes.
Everything in readiness, T-minus 3 minutes and counting.
Knowing Russia, this is when they do their final, okay, get out of the pad, it's gonna go. Fossils in Denmark. Rasmus is in Denmark. Hypercell
The
in
purging
Indiana.
of the fuel lines now complete. The ground propellant feed will be terminated moments from now.
We got New Zealand in the house as well with Zed. Welcome. Coming up T-minus 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Booster propellant tank pressurization initiated.
So the booster's fully fueled now. Now remember, when the Soyuz ignites, it ignites and it sits for a few seconds. So that's normal. Takes a few seconds for those engines to really warm up and get to their full
T-minus
thrust.
2 minutes and counting.
There's that 2 minute mark. Richard from Israel, hello.
Less than
Let's
90
see
seconds to launch. The ground propellant feed now has been terminated.
There we go. Let's see a go, no go in the chat, just like we always do. Let us know if they should launch this here, coming down to T-minus 70 seconds until launch. You can see the crew there in the bottom right corner there. That's the Russia feed. The crew as they prepare for punching in here
T-minus 1
just for a
minute.
quick second. T-minus 60 seconds.
Vehicle to internal power, separation of first umbilical tower from booster. Ground propellant feed terminated.
And the first umbilical now
There we
retracting.
go. They always say the word abort, and it's nerve-wracking, but they're like, no, it's okay. That's a good thing. T-minus 30 seconds.
T-minus 19 seconds. The second umbilical now retracting. This initiates the auto sequence start for engine ignition.
Second umbilical tower separates.
There's ignition. Come on.
Engine turbo pump set flight.
Engine ignition, turbo pumps coming up to flight speed, and liftoff.
Liftoff.
There we
Liftoff
go.
of Soyuz MS-19 with an actress and her producer beginning a journey to the International Space Station.
Come on. What a beautiful, clear day.
All parameters are nominal.
Good roll, pitch, and yaw program are in.
Thrusters are functioning nominally.
Good first stage performance. 33 seconds into the flight, the International Space Station now flying directly over the Baikonur Cosmodrome.
40 seconds.
Soyuz booster arcing out to the northeast to an orbit 51.6 degrees inclined to the equator.
50 seconds into the flight. The pressure in the chambers is nominal. 60 seconds.
1 minute, 4 seconds into the flight, everything looking good.
Your and roll are nominal.
Now passing through maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle.
The crew is feeling well. Everything is good on board. 70 seconds into the flight. The flight is nominal.
Everything's nominal. That's
So
good.
we are feeling a little bit of vibration, and G loads are also felt.
Anton Shkaplerov with the pointer to his left, Klim Shipenko.
90 seconds into the flight. The first and second stage thrusters are firing nominally.
The first
Wake up
Soyuz with
schedule
only one
parameters,
commander
100
on board. One cosmonaut.
Seconds into the flight. 110 seconds.
Coming up on
By
that
for first
booster
stage
set.
separation.
And there they go. Oh, it froze. There they go.
And first stage separation confirmed.
Those are always so cool. Beautiful cross
752
there.
is the pressure in the thermal control loop, copy nominal. The vehicle stabilization is...
Good vehicle stability reported from the blockhouse in Baikonur. The Soyuz 29 miles in altitude, 35 miles downrange from the Baikonur Cosmodrome, traveling almost 5,000 miles an hour.
150.
2 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight.
The shroud is jettisoned. So we have the automated descent flag. Copy.
A good view.
170 seconds.
$180.
180 seconds.
Vehicle stable. Good
Another
motion
100
control
seconds.
parameters as we pass the 3-minute mark into the flight.
190 секунд. Наблюдаем изображение с внешней камеры.
We are seeing the video from the external camera.
200 секунд.
200 seconds into the flight.
Second stage shutdown will come at the 4-minute 37-second mark into the flight. This view from a camera on the upper stage of the Soyuz 2.1A booster.
220 секунд. Настройка.
220 seconds. Astray, do you copy me? We copy you loud and clear. Everything is good on board. The crew is feeling fine. Thank you. Copy.
The crew's fine. Stop
Passing
asking.
the 4-minute mark
Basically
into the
what
flight.
she's saying.
All the reports from the blockhouse in Baikonur are excellent performance by the Soyuz.
Of the second stage are functioning nominally. All systems are nominal on board. Copy, Astray.
Yeah, they really do map. Like, look at that. 4 minutes, 20 seconds. And look at that curvature they can already see. They're already more than a third of the way up to the ISS altitude.
60 seconds, all parameters are nominal.
4.5 minutes into the flight.
Stand by for
for
second stage
shutdown.
separation. Coming up on second stage SEP. 3,
280
2,
seconds into flight.
1, mark.
And we have second stage separation. The Soyuz traveling almost 10,000 miles an hour, 97 miles in altitude, 287 miles downrange from Baikonur.
310 seconds.
5 minutes, 15 seconds into the flight.
They plan on docking with the ISS in just over, actually, 3 hours and
330
8 minutes from now, they will have hard
seconds of
capture
flight.
on the ISS.
Third stage performance reported to be normal as we hit the 5-minute 46-second mark into the flight. 3 minutes of powered flight remaining.
Third stage is working stable. Is stable. We copy.
I love this narrator. The third stage is working.
Seconds of
See?
flight.
We got it.
Roll pitch in your nominal.
Already going 17,500 kilometers an hour at an altitude of 180 kilometers. The International Space Station is in a low Earth orbit at 400, so they are almost halfway to altitude of the space
Third
station.
stage performance continues to be excellent. 6.5 minutes into the flight.
Everything's fine on board. All systems are nominal. Copy. For 20 seconds of flight.
Yaw, pitch, and roll, all reported to be nominal at the 7-minute 15-second mark into the flight. About 1.5 minutes of powered flight remaining.
Image break up there.
For 50 seconds of flight. Everything's nominal.
We are keeping an eye on which view has better. Normally one will switch to an animation. I saw their green screen. I saw it.
46 seconds into the flight. 1 minute of powered flight remaining. Soyuz continues to fly straight as an arrow. Everything in good shape.
So far they have beaten Tom Cruise.
Please have Povica ready. For 80 seconds of flight. Parameters are nominal. Do you have the Povica ready?
Stand by for third engine cutoff. It's the last little bit of powered flight. Coming at 26,000 kilometers an hour, 200 kilometers in altitude.
5
20
seconds of flight.
left.
Is Povica ready?
8.5 minutes into the flight, about 15 seconds away from third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation.
Get ready for separation. 520 seconds of flight.
And Mark should have stage shutdown.
And third stage shutdown is confirmed and spacecraft separation.
There they go. They're on their way.
Confirm. Third stage separate.
Yeah, what
Next
an
step will
incredible
be the
view, Fritz.
deployment of the solar arrays that you now see unfurling.
There they go. Very old-fashioned. Just they get out though and they work.
And we now have confirmation of the deployment of the solar arrays and the navigational antennas as planned.
How copy? We copy. And good day to you. We are ready to listen to your report about how you're feeling, guys. Moscow, this is Astray 1. We're feeling great. Everything's working nominally. We're working for page 35. Third stage separation went nominally, and KDU thrusted repress is no longer illuminated, and we are closing RPV valves 1 and 2. Please move on to page 35, and that's going to be table 3.2-1.
We'll leave the live view up of the camera as long as we can, but we'll leave that animation in the bottom right corner. That's the big question there, Liquid Wings. When is the Tom Cruise mission?
Flawless ascent to orbit for the Soyuz MS-19. Everything went by the book. Liftoff occurring on time at 3:55 and 2 seconds a.m. Central Time, which was 1:55 p.m. at the launch site of the Baikonur Cosmodrome. 8 minutes and 46 seconds later, third stage shutdown on the Soyuz 2.1A booster and Soyuz separation from the third stage with the solar arrays and navigational antennas having been deployed. The chase is on. A quick two-orbit rendezvous upcoming for Anton Shkaplerov, Klim Shipenko, and Yulia Peresild.
1205. SR pressure is 815. BO pressure 736. Instrumentation compartment 893. How copy? We copy. We're standing by for the next measurement. It's going to be in 5 minutes. Astray, MCC Moscow. We have 13 selection of depot 2 illuminated. Could you please repeat BO pressure? BO pressure is 836. Copy, 836. Please stand by. Please. RDR command has gone through, and please monitor the process.
So the Soyuz MS-19 and its 3 occupants, including a veteran Russian actress and her producer, are heading to the International Space Station, where they will spend the next 12 days filming a movie titled Challenge. We're about 43 minutes away from the start of the automated rendezvous sequence, a series of pre-programmed engine firings that will raise the Soyuz altitude to match that of the International Space Station. This fast two-orbit rendezvous is the third being executed as we watch some of the launch replays coming to us from Baikonur.
Please select
Really just incredible. 45 minutes from now, they're already going to be starting to do the burns to rendezvous with the ISS. Really incredible there. A couple questions there. What's the cosmonaut's mission? Just a standard cosmonaut mission, the research on the station, a lot of different things. He won't be coming home until March.
On the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
We no longer have indicator mode illuminated. And I confirm OSK built. Copy. EKV 2 and 2-1.
But I think we're going to kind of just retract their audio a little bit. But what an incredible launch. Thank you guys for being here. If you're new, don't forget to engage that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from for it. We're going to do a replay of the rendezvous and docking and hatch opening a little later today, just as it is going to be through the middle of the absolute night. It's already 3 in the morning here. I know some of you in the chat, it's 4 and 5 already. I gotta get ready for your days. So, but we're gonna hang out, answer a few last-minute questions. So if you have any, you can send those in the chat. Tag us at the launch pad, and we will answer that for you. And then we will probably conclude there for tonight. This has been a late one, but we didn't want to miss this very historic launch, launching the first ever film crew to the International Space Station. If you want to watch the docking live, you can tune in to NASA's TV on YouTube, and they will have it there, of course, live. And then we will bring a full replay later on in the evening as the day progresses. Why did Saturn V have so many stages? It didn't actually have that many stages. It had 3 stages for it, and then it had the part where people thought there was multiple stages is the fact that it had the lander and the command module and the descent module, but it did actually was a 3-stage rocket for it, and had that for the performance of just what it really needed to be able to do. Yeah, it's still pretty common, a 3-stage. And it looks like Russia's closing out their stream here as well. So we'll wrap ours up here in the next few minutes, answering some last questions. Yeah, really smooth liftoff there, Dave. You're spot on. Matt Otter, you saw the green screen, just the cutout there for it. Soyuz was designed before they could get Duracell batteries, so they used solar panels. But it's quick, 7, 8, 9 minutes, and they're launched, and they are off into orbit on their way to the International Space Station. So you can continue sending in any last-minute questions. We will answer those, and then we will wrap up for this evening. If you're new and you haven't heard it, welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the host here at the Launchpad. Here at the pad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, both here on Earth and the ones that are going to space. And we believe that space is better together, so we invite everyone to be part of our crew. So you can do so by subscribing, joining our Discord, which is linked below. It's free to do so. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere. And we've got some very big plans for the rest of 2021 and into 2022, covering everything space, getting 24/7 live camera feeds up for you guys as well to watch the progress of Starbase and other places. And we are only able to do that because of you guys and your support. If you'd like to help us out, check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships, or Super Chats and Super Stickers are always greatly appreciated but never expected. And we appreciate your guys' support. Even just by watching, you are supporting what we are doing. Joe, thanks so much for hosting. You were great. Thanks, Joe. Getting back into the rhythm. It's been like 3.5 weeks. So getting back into the rhythm of hosting. But glad that you guys enjoyed it. We were in here 3.5 hours, so it is more than time for bed. Let's take one last look at our poll tonight. If you haven't yet, take a second, fill out the poll. What spaceship capsule or spaceship/capsule would you launch on today if you had the chance? 8% of you said other. I want to know what other is in the chat. Let us know. 40% said Soyuz and 52% said Crew Dragon. I'm right there with you. Crew Dragon, I'd go today. Other, I guess if you're talking like Blue Origin or something, maybe. I've got the paperwork, but it's pretty expensive. $1 million for 3 minutes? Not sure it balances out. But thank you so much for being here, guys. I think with that, not seeing any last questions come in, we're going to wrap up for the evening. But we will be back tomorrow with some space news updates, some big space developments over the last couple of days we're excited to bring to you guys. But for now, that is going to do it for us here at the Launchpad. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, and we invite you to join our crew by subscribing. Black Griffin, Starship. I really want Starship. I know I want... So close. Just give me one day. We'll get on a Starship, Black Griffin. I know it's gonna happen. I believe it. You and I will be on one. If it takes the Launchpad chartering one, then that's just what we're gonna have to do. But we're gonna find a way. When there's a will, there's a way. Hey, I mean, look at how fast they've rewritten medical stuff with Haley. No one wanted anybody with what they call deformities. And now ESA allows people with 2 deformities. So it's possible. Thomas, no boom. No boom. Tried and true. Absolutely. Crew Dragon baby all day. Absolutely. Sounds good. Have a good night, Matt. And Ryland, if you're there. Or I guess have a good afternoon for you guys. If you guys are there, we will talk soon. I still need to reach out to you guys about a shirt. Remind me to do that one day if I haven't done it yet. My first pick was Dragon, and then I'll take Soyuz as a backup. That makes sense? No, that makes sense. We'll make it work, Black Griffin. We'll make it work. There's gotta be a way. I mean, and let's be honest. $2 million, if that's what it's gonna cost, like, If it's $2 million for a Starship launch, let's even push it to 5. If we can take 500 people, now it's 3 in the morning. I'm not going to do that math, but I'm going to pull out a calculator. But let's say it's $5 million and we can get 500 people on board. That's only $10,000 a person. I could make that work. I'd have to save, but I could make that work. So we'll make it happen. But we got to Zoom sometime. I want to hear more of your story. Honestly, I wonder if anyone with mental illness will ever be able to go to space. I think it really depends, Joe. I think it depends on what the definition of illness is versus disability versus situation. I think especially after the last 18 months, 2 years, there are a lot of people that have been diagnosed with mental illnesses. And I do the air quotes because I think when things eventually get back to a state of normalcy, there will be some more stabilization there. But I can even say for myself, I've got very high anxiety now because of the pandemic. I live with seniors. I'm high risk. That quote unquote is a mental illness. Eventually, when we get through all this, that'll go away. So I think there's definitely going to be some stuff that changes there, especially when we start seeing Starship open up flights of 250, 500 plus people on Earth to Earth or Earth to orbit or whatever, like cruises. You're going to see a lot of the current restrictions come away because they're not going to be different than boarding a flight. It's just a longer plane ride. I mean, the longest flight I've been on so far, I think, was 14 hours, 15 hours, type of thing. So if we can do those already, what's saying a 1-day orbit mission on a Starship, like a cruise, wouldn't be possible? I think it's possible. Definitely can't afford that stuff. Not yet, but one day. I might change to vote for Soyuz. That didn't even look was trying. I might change to vote Soyuz. That didn't even look like it was trying. Been doing it for so long. It's true. They just, they know what they're doing. Just snap, snap, snap. Dragon's there too. It just seems, it's just new. So we're still learning all those things. Absolutely, Black Griffin. Keep him talking. I want to see him up all night. You keep me talking for 2 more hours, we're going to be at docking, so I may as well. Space is for everyone, and one day it'll be so. Just who knows how far in the future, hopefully in my lifetime. I agree, Matt. I totally agree. I think we're seeing that now with Inspiration 4, with Dear Moon, with this mission, MS-19. We're seeing it with Axiom Space, Space Adventures, Space Perspectives. Now those are suborbital. Space Perspective. There's a new one today. I can't remember what it's called. But there's, Blue Origin. There's Virgin Galactic. There's so many things. Rocket Lab's even getting into the crude stuff. That there's a lot of options. So, Bernard, maybe you'll get to do a live streams from space one day. That is what I'm selling all the agencies on. That's what I've literally sent paperwork being like, first YouTuber in space? Like, let's go. Put me in a Dragon. We'll go right now. Like, honestly. Dragon? Sure. Soyuz? It'll be tight. But, yeah, one day a live stream from space or even a pre-recorded video or anything from orbit. I can't imagine. I was talking to a friend, and I'll wrap up with this. I was talking to a friend coming home from Inspiration 4, and we were flying back home to Canada, and it was an evening flight from Denver to Edmonton. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. The sun's already set. It's dark outside, but the moon was rising, and it was a big moon on the moonrise, and it was dark, burnt orange, and it was gorgeous. I was on the wrong side of the plane, unfortunately, to take photos, but it was absolutely beautiful to look at. And the few of us were looking at it. In economy, most people were asleep. But our pilot actually woke the plane. which I find very rare these days for them to do something that's not like, excuse me, a bigger announcement or like whatever. Like, we were still 30 minutes away from starting our descent. There's no reason for him to go, boom, boom, bing, attention. But he chose to. And he's, he did it. It was 8:39, so not super late, but late enough that it's a night flight. All the lights are off. Service was done well over an hour before. And he said, for anyone still up or on the right side of the craft or that can see outside the right side, we have the most gorgeous moonrise. And it was something, when he said that it was like, wow, that feels accessible. And I think it was being at the Inspiration 4 launch, knowing people that are there. I think, Black Griffin in the chat can feel it too. Space does not feel distant anymore. And I think that's a really weird sentence to say. And for a lot of people, it's a little, ooh, you sound a little crazy. 2 years ago, if you told us we were going to sit around and watch metal tanks go left or right across the screen, you would have told us we sounded crazy too. But now there's millions of us that do it. Texas Tank Watchers. But it feels accessible. Whether you're talking just orbit or the space station or the moon, it feels accessible. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're talking tens. Excuse me, guys. We're talking tens of millions of dollars to get to go right now. But suborbital, hopefully Crew Dragon orbitals will come down in costs when they start building more boosters and Dragons and kind of have them sitting around. Yeah, it's something that feels accessible. And that's a really weird feeling. Like, it's such a mind shift of growing up. Like, when you have those questions, what do you want to be when you grew up? Oh, astronaut, always. I'd sit upside down in the car and pretending you're flying a rocket. Never in my wildest dreams when the shuttle retired did I think I'd be doing this 10 years later. We started this in January, and now living in a world that it's that accessible that, literally Black Griffin almost to the moon, and one day will be to orbit into the moon. I know it. The fact that I can live my life saying one day I will go to space, and there's a 99+% chance that will happen, because I believe it will happen, and I will find a way to make it happen. And that's not me being crazy anymore. I literally have the paperwork on this iPad to buy a flight to suborbital space. Now, I have to do all of it, and I have to have the money for it. But I'm 25, not trained in anything, and I have paperwork to go to space. That's crazy. Imagine where we're going to be in 10 to 15 years. And I mean, that's why we started the Launchpad. We want to grow this community of people that are excited and believe in it. And, it becomes more accessible. Joe, like, honestly, 10K a piece of Starship would be awesome. I don't know if there would be room for 500, though. I'm going to look up how big the fairing is. No abort system, though. True, no abort system. There you think they could get up to 750 to 1,000 on an Earth-to-Earth Starship. With premium plus style seating, from what I was hearing. So not business, but premium plus. So you get a little leg room. But yeah, easily it could hold 500 if it had just basic cargo. Because you're talking Earth to Earth. If you wanted to talk like a cruise ship, like one day in orbit type of thing, maybe you're talking 100 or 200 type of thing. They want to send 100 plus to the moon on a time. Mars is going to be in the 20s to 30s. So, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine having to grasp that, but it will happen. SpaceX will have access to space for just a couple thousand or less in give or take 20 years. I believe so. I believe it will be equal to doing a luxury cruise right now. People spend 15, 20, 25 grand to go on a cruise. And I think that's where we're going to get with space in our lifetime, which is astonishing. I mean, the fact that, and I think Gabe and I were talking about this, it was like, the fact that we live in a world that you and I know someone that went to space and they know who we are and we did this over Twitter, is astounding. Like, that's the world, like, you know, this pandemic's been a big thing. But I think there's been some really amazing things that have come out of it, too. I have been so grateful for the amount of people that have been able to sit at home and watch the first year and a half of development of Starship because they had nothing else to do. If that had happened at any other time in the world, no one would have watched it near as closely. But we had nothing else to do, so we did, and now we are all that much wiser, and we will all get to remember these early days. That's why I literally have model pieces of the early developments of Starship here. So it'll be really cool. Earth to Earth will go to low Earth orbit, right? We're not 100% sure, but that's what it seems like. It seems like Earth to Earth seems like what Starship's going to do on this orbital flight test. Launch out of Texas, go 90% of the way around, and then land. Now, obviously, it could have launched out of Texas and then just landed in Dubai. Like, it could, you know, wherever. If it's trying to go, like, all the way around, like, launch out of, like, New York and land in LA, then probably it would get into a lower Earth orbit. But we're not talking, like, 400 kilometers. Like, maybe 200? We're not too sure. They haven't really ironed out those. Dude, that's amazing. That's so cool. Congratulations. That's so cool. I'm so jealous. In 20 years, I'll be almost 60. I might not be able to go. Look at William Shatner. He's 90 and he's going up next week. I wouldn't say not possible. We're breaking all those boundaries. We're getting to a place in medicine and science that we're able to start breaking these boundaries down and stop putting up all these little barriers of, oh, you're too old. I'm sorry, if you're 35 or 36, there's not a difference other than one number type of thing. So I think we're starting to see more of that. Like, if you can pass the physicals and you can pass the mental stuff, there's going to be more doors that open. But also, we're going to get to a place where you don't have to pass any of that. You don't have to do that for a flight. You know, maybe there'll be some basic medical testing, but eventually they want to get rid of that. They want to run it like a flight. The funny part is you're going to have to take an old plane to where you get a Starship for a quick flight to take another old plane. That's going to be the funny part. And your two old planes are going to both be longer than your Starship flight. Yeah, you're like one of the coolest people I know. Like, honestly. I'm already past my best by use by date. I've got a marker. We can write over top of it. Just initial next to it. My family history is a majority of us dying in our 50s. Ooh. Wow, you can change that. Rewrite that history. I'm working on doing that. It takes a lot of work, though. Which former astronauts told us more about, like, UFOs and stuff? Yeah, I do and I don't. There's two philosophies. One, there's aliens. And there are other things out there in the world, in the universe. Or two, there isn't. Both, I think, are equally as scary possibilities, and I'm a person of faith and religion, and I can understand both concepts, and I couldn't imagine it. But it's a possibility, and let's be honest. Do you think society could handle finding out that there's other people out there right now? We can't even decide on what type of, like, beverage we like. You rock in a restaurant. Oh, what can I get you to drink? Coke? We only serve Pepsi. Oh, fine, I'll take a Pepsi. Like, or vice versa. You know, like, do you think we could honestly handle... Could you imagine that Joe Biden holds a press conference? Ladies and gentlemen, these are the aliens from Saturn. No. Nothing would work well. But, also, if anyone else found us, do you really think they'd approach us? Look at our music. I mean, we got some pretty good music in the chat, but, I mean, come on now. Some of the music on the radio, if you flew by the planet and you turned it on and you listened to, like, the pop station, you heard some of it, you'd be like, we're just going to skip this one. Hey, we're working on it, Matt. They're working on it. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry to hear that, Thomas. Really am. Maybe the response would be Democrats, but I'm not too sure. But, and that makes total sense. That makes 100% sense to me. And, like, it sucks for that moment, or it's going to suck for a while, but the fact that even you can understand that, I hope helps a little bit. Because it does make sense on why they can't make it work this time. But it doesn't mean it's a no forever. Which is your favorite rocket program? Depends on what type of rocket you're talking about. Like, obviously Falcon, I love. Falcon Heavy's just so cool. I really want to see... Now that I've seen a Falcon 9 launch in person, I need to see a Falcon Heavy. And then I have to see a Starship. And the fact that I can see Starship by the end of the year is something that just it makes it hard to sleep. That I can be back down at Starbase. Like, that was one of the coolest things about this last trip. Was getting to see Kennedy and kind of the established space. And then going to Texas and seeing Starbase and seeing new space. And standing that close. And talking to people that are there. And working there. And the sheriffs. And... You're standing a couple hundred feet away from Starship that's going to go to orbit. Or almost to orbit. There's something really powerful about it. Really special. So I'd be between Falcon, Falcon Heavy, and Starship. Like, just that collection. There's some new cool up-and-coming rockets coming up. Relativity Space, Neutron. I think SpaceX just kind of wins the market. Guardians of the Galaxy already helped us out with a bunch of Peter Quill's playlist. It's true. But I think I'm going to conclude it with, judging by all the yawning, we better be sure that... Wow. I actually think they're going overboard because I have a history of... That's true. That's very true. You've done some crazy stuff. You've done some really crazy stuff. Crazy cool stuff. But, yeah. It's a hard balance. But what I'm going to say is, though, if you guys have not yet joined our Discord, it's totally free to do so. I'll drop the link in the chat. We hang out and talk like this literally almost every night. In the live hangout or gaming hangout, and we'll play Kerbal or Minecraft, or we're going to try to do some other stuff. Excuse me. So yeah, join the Discord, totally free to do so. If you join right now, I'll give you a shout out, and we'd love to see you in there. And if you become a YouTube member or a Patreon member, there are some early access tiers to things that you can get as well. But 100%. 100% sucks. There's cautious, and then there's extra cautious, and then there's stupid cautious. It's a proven rocket, but why is it still costing $95 million a seat? That's what I'm wondering. Like, does it actually cost that? Or is that just... Excuse me. It's almost 4 in the morning. Yeah, we saw that one fly in Russia. We were going to try to stay up, but I'm crashing. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it all that way. So I think we're going to do a replay on that a little later. But, yeah, if you guys haven't yet, though, it's awesome hanging out, chatting. Join the Discord. Links in the description. If you can't join right now, that's totally fine. You can save that link or find it any time in any of the descriptions of our videos. It's always free to join for it. Hang out, chat with me, and the rest. Wow, and the rest of our community. This is really rude. I'm sorry. And we'll go from there. No, I'm not staying up till docking. That was the original plan. But not right now. Bye. Go to bed. Thanks, Matt. I need my space. Hey, cool. You're so prepared. You even have a dude who translates. Yeah, we normally try to have our translate open. But, you guys are more than welcome to continue the chat in here once the stream ends. Or in the Discord, whichever works for you guys. But we will be back tomorrow with some space news updates. And then hopefully we have a Falcon Heavy launch next week. We know we've got New Shepard for sure launching William Shatner, which will be really cool. Yeah, we should have some Rocket Labs picking up, some Falcon 9s picking up. So we've got a bunch of stuff happening in the near future. So, but with that, we're going to wrap it up. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, both here on Earth and up in space. And we invite you to be part of our community because we believe space is better together. So subscribe so you never miss another live launch coverage, space news update, exclusive interview, or special coverage. But for now, this is Zach with the Launchpad signing off. Have a good night, everyone.